Hi, I'm not sure what exactly brought you to this video. I'm not sure if it's because you know me, or if it's because you know someone who knows me, or if someone shared this with you because you're going through a hard time in your life. Whatever it may be, hello, I'm Caitlin. I am here because I really wanted to discuss major life changes and the loss that comes from them, and the change and the pain that comes from the loss and the life changes. I am not going to go into the whole story today of what has happened to me and what led me to this life change. I'm just going to tell you that I recently got divorced from the man who I thought was the absolute love of my life. I thought I was going to be with him forever. I'll save that whole story for another day, but today I just feel compelled to tell you what I've learned since I left about change and about pain and about loss. Whether you've lost someone you love due to death or due to divorce or a breakup, or you lost a friend that you thought you'd never lose that was your soulmate in a sense, or you lost a job, some kind of loss in your life. No matter what it is, it's hard, and the pain associated with that loss can be so intense and so deep that it is unbelievably hard to get up every single day. In the past 3 months, I've learned a lot. I have learned a lot, and I've also been in a lot of pain. Like, I don't think I've cried this much in my entire life. Not so much in the past 3 to 4 weeks, but in the first 8 weeks after I left my husband, I cried every day, probably 3 to 15 times a day, literally, depending on the day. It has been the most painful experience of my life. Pain is different for everybody, but it's also, in a sense, the same. And I just want to share with you how I overcame and got through that pain, and I'm still working through it. I mean, I'll still be working through it for a while, but literally a month and a half to a month ago, I still didn't think I was ever going to get through the pain. I left my husband 3 months ago. And again, I'll get into that story another day because that's a story I do want to tell and feel like needs to be shared, but not today. Today, I feel compelled to share how I got through the pain of it. I left him 3 months ago, which is something I never in a million years thought I would do. I thought I was going to be with this man for the rest of my life. I thought he was it. I discovered he was not it. But I also discovered he wasn't it I didn't discover that till after I left. But I still left. I left. And I left because something wasn't right, and it wasn't going to get better in that relationship. So I had to leave. I knew in my heart that pain was going to get worse after I left, but it was also not going to get better if I didn't leave, if that makes any sense. So I left my husband, and in the 2 months following leaving him, probably the first month after leaving him, I didn't learn a whole lot. I learned that he's an alcoholic. I learned that he's a narcissist, but I didn't learn a whole lot about pain and about change and about life changes and how to get through them. I just learned the things that I found out I was not going to be able to fix him. I wasn't going to be able to love him so much that I fixed him and fixed his pain. That's not possible. You cannot fix someone else just by loving them enough. So I realized that in the first month, but I was crying. I cried so much that I didn't even think I had any tears left. I was in so much pain. Like, I didn't even know what heartache was. I didn't know that your heart could literally feel like it was broken. Like, you felt like this ache. I can feel it now just talking about it. There's this ache in where your heart is, and it just is constant, and it goes from here to here, and you're just on the brink of crying at any little tiny thought or reminder of him, or a song. Anything can trigger it, and still I get triggered. But God, I was so broken down and exhausted and emotionally just done. I didn't want to get out of bed. I did not want to get out of bed. I have a 7.5-year-old daughter, so I had to get out of bed. But I did not want to do anything. I didn't want to get up and get dressed, put makeup on. I didn't want to go anywhere because literally everything reminded me of him. And I didn't know how to get through it. I didn't know what to do. I just knew I had to keep going. From everything that I read about narcissistic abuse, because that's what I was, researching at the time, was I just had to keep going, and I had to keep doing what I was doing. Then something happened recently. It wasn't anything that really happened. It was just through me reading and learning about life and life changes that something shifted inside of me. I've been reading a lot of Neil Donald Walsh's material, Conversations with God, When Everything Changes, Change Everything. And literally, those books have changed everything for me. Changed the way I even look at the world. So, when I realized that pain is necessary, I realized that for a very long time I had been running from the pain. I had been distracting myself from the pain. I had been numbing the pain. And the majority of our world does this. We drink. We work. We have sex to distract ourselves from the pain. We try to fall in love to distract ourselves from the pain. We go out partying. We do anything we can to distract ourselves from feeling that way. As soon as we start to feel that way, we just freak, and we're like, okay, I gotta get up, I gotta go do something. So when I was in my deepest pain ever, automatically my first instinct was, no, I gotta get out of this bed and I gotta go do something. I gotta do something to fix this pain. No. And I learned very quickly that that is not the answer. And figuring out that doing something to fix the pain is not gonna fix the pain. I learned through talking to very spiritually awakened family members. Sorry, I'm not using the right word here. Spiritually awakened family members. Through talking to them, I learned that pain is necessary in order to move through something in your life. So that pain was there to tell me something, to make me learn something about myself. So instead of trying to run from the pain or distract myself from the pain, I go, okay. I started feeling that feeling inside of me. And so I just sat there. I just laid there or sat there, or I just sat with it. I just sat down. I wasn't on my phone. I wasn't watching television. I didn't read a book. I sat there and I let myself feel the pain. And I cried. And every time that pain came, I let myself cry. Obviously, if you're at work or something and you have to keep on a smiling face, then you gotta get through work until you get off. And I had to do that many times too. I had to go to work, but literally I could feel that feeling building up inside of me. And as soon as I walked out of that building at night, I bawled my damn eyes out. I bawled my eyes out, and I did it shamelessly, because there is no shame in crying and feeling your pain. And a lot of people in this society are taught that you don't show weakness. You don't show other people that you feel pain. You stay strong, because if you stay strong, everything will be okay, and you don't cry because that's weak. No. Crying is your body's way of releasing that toxicity inside you, releasing that negative energy inside of you. It is just one of the ways. So when you start feeling that terribly awful, dreadful, aching pain inside of you, it is an awful feeling. But when you start to feel that way, sit down and breathe and let those feelings come. Let yourself feel them. Let yourself think about it. But then remember not to get stuck in it. Let yourself feel those feelings until you're done feeling them. Give yourself as much time as you need to cry, to think about it, to work through whatever you need to work through. Because if you don't, if you stuff it down and you go, no, I gotta get up and I gotta go to work and I gotta go do this and I gotta go do this, and you come up with all these excuses for why you shouldn't let yourself feel that way, then it's just gonna keep coming back. Simple as that. The pain will keep coming back until you allow yourself to feel it. So that is why I am totally and completely against antidepressants and anti-anxiety medication, because I truly, in my heart of hearts, believe that that is just medicine's way of, first of all, making a shit ton of money off of our sadness and pain. They want us to be in sadness and pain and feel like we're not enough so that we go out and buy antidepressants and we'll be happy. No, bullshit. Do you know how many people who take antidepressants and then they end up committing suicide? Because it's not working. It doesn't work. Yeah, it might work temporarily, might work for a little while, but I'm telling you right now that antidepressants and anti-anxiety medication are just like alcohol, or just like working too much, or any addiction, or anything else to distract yourself from the pain. That's all it does, is distract you, make you feel better for a little while, make that pain go away, make the symptom of pain go away, but it doesn't make the reason why that pain is there go away. So as soon as those antidepressants, you stop taking them, that pain is going to come back times 100. So if you just face it and feel it when it comes originally, that's your chance to work through it. And so that's what I did. I had the opportunity. I went to a therapist right before I left my husband, and I was in so much pain that I really did consider taking some antidepressants, because I had no desire to live. I really didn't. I knew I couldn't take my life because I had to be there for my daughter, but I had no desire to live. I had nothing. I felt nothing. I felt nothing but pain, and all I wanted was that pain to go away. All I wanted was to be the happy person that I knew was in there somewhere, but I couldn't find her. But I knew deep down that taking antidepressants was going to make that girl that happy girl that I wanted to find disappear. Because not only does it numb the pain, it numbs the happy. It numbs your personality. So I decided not to take them, and I decided to feel the pain, and it's the best thing I ever did. It is the best thing I ever did. And you know what else I realized about this life change? I kept wondering from the minute that I left my husband, did I do the right thing? Did I do the right thing? Did I do the right thing? Am I going to regret this decision for the rest of my life? He told me I was going to. He told me that he was the best thing that ever happened to me, and that one day I was going to regret leaving him. 3 months later, and I do not regret leaving him. He wasn't a bad man. He was not a bad man. He's a man who is in a lot of pain. And he is a man who was taught by society that he's a man, so he's not allowed to feel his pain. He's not allowed to show his pain. He's supposed to just suck it up and keep going. So he is a perfect example of what you are not supposed to do. But no, he is not a bad man. I think he tries like hell, but he doesn't know what to do with all that pain inside of him. So it comes out as anger. It comes out as control, as manipulation. But I don't hold anything against him. So I just have realized that while for the longest time I thought and I wondered, will I regret this one day? And now I don't, because no matter what change comes into your life, no matter if you lost someone you loved due to death or divorce or a breakup, or you lost your job, no change happens for the worse. And that's something that I really, really want you to think about, because I learned this from Neil Donald Walsh, and I truly, truly get it. There is no change that happens for the worse. Every single change that happens in our lives is supposed to happen, and it happens to make you better. And at first when I heard this, I go, how is that possible? Because there's so many people who regret decisions in life because they're like, oh, but if I just loved this person more, then we would have had everything, or I shouldn't have left this person. And it feels like it was the wrong decision. It feels like it was a change for the worse. But it's really just a matter of perspective. And it's really just a matter of you don't see the whole picture yet. You will. You will see the whole picture. But right now you don't. And I'm starting to see the bigger picture. And I'm starting to see that the reason why it makes sense that every change is for the better, literally every change is for the better. And the reason that makes sense is because the law of nature, the natural thing in nature that happens is evolution. So the nature of change is evolution. And evolution only happens to make us better. So that's why it makes sense to me. And that's why I go, okay. And I surrendered to what's happening to me. I surrendered because it's supposed to be this way. I am where I am. And where I am is where I'm supposed to be. So I want you to understand that whatever change you're going through in your life right now, you're right where you're supposed to be. It may not feel like it right now. It may feel like complete and total shit. You may go, what the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about? You're a crazy person. I'm in so much pain. I shouldn't have done what I've done. I shouldn't have left this person. If you lost someone you love due to death, you may be going, how is this for the better? How is this for the better? How is losing my mother to cancer for the better? How? How is this pain? How is this change for the better? And it may make you angry to hear me say that it is for the better, because There is something that you're supposed to take from this death. There's something you're supposed to learn from that death, from that loss. There's something that's going to help you evolve in some way from that loss. You just have to listen. Our intuition, our inner voice is always trying to talk to us, to tell us something, to try to guide us. All of the answers that you're looking for in your entire life are inside of you. They're there. You just have to listen. So when you're wondering, why did my mom or why did my brother have to die? Or why did I have to lose that job? That was my dream job. Or why did my best friend betray me? Why? How is that for the better? Sit. Be quiet. Be still and listen. It will come. The answer will come. And the change happened to make you better in some way, shape, or form. It happened to help you learn something from it. And I believe that from the bottom of my heart. I have never believed in everything happens for a reason more than I do right now. My ex-husband used to hate when I said everything happens for a reason because, or the universe provides. He hated when I said that. But I have never believed in it more than I do right now, because once I started to pay attention to my life when I was with him, and I started observing that I wasn't able to be my full self, and I started feeling like I wanted more, that's when my life in Venice and with my husband and my perfect little life started falling apart, and nothing I could do or nothing I did could make that better or go back to being a happy life. Nothing. It was falling apart right before my eyes, and then this new life was falling together at the same time. So I saw this spark of light and I reached for it, and then everything fell into place from there. And everything is still falling into place, and I cannot describe it to you. But now that I've figured out that pain is there for a reason, and I'm supposed to learn something, and I am learning something, and I already feel the shift inside of me that I'm a completely different person than I was even 3 weeks ago. Now that I've realized that, I have this unbelievable feeling inside of me, like I'm finally living my truth. I'm finally living and headed in the direction that I'm supposed to be headed in. And from the outside looking in, and I'm sure I can just hear my ex-husband now telling me, well, you're working at a Ruby Tuesday and you're barely making enough money to pay for your bills, and you're living with your mom and dad, and how are you better off without me, and blah, 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 blah. I had it all with him in that life. I had the house, I had him, blah, 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 blah. But how was it that when I had it all, I felt like I was going nowhere, like I was stuck, like I had no future, I had no hope, there was no light. And now for the first time, and I don't have a house, I don't live a mile from the beach, I don't have the family, I have my daughter and my dog, and I have my mom and my dad, and yes, I'm living in a little room in my mom and dad's house right now. And for the first time in over 10 years, there is this light inside of me, and I can feel it growing every single day. I can feel it. It's this passion, and I just feel a call to tell people about it, to tell people that there's a way through pain, and that even if it doesn't look like it on the surface, that it's gonna work out. And I'm gonna keep posting videos because I want to show you where I go from here. Because I know completely and totally in my heart that I'm going somewhere. I am going somewhere. I don't know where it is, but I know I'm going. And for the first time in over 10 years, I just feel happy. I feel this pure happiness, not this superficial happiness. It's pure and it comes from inside of me. And that's the thing that people need to realize, is that happiness does not come from anything on the outside. It doesn't come from a husband or a house or a friend or a job. Happiness is in here. It's right here. And I know how corny that sounds, but it's so freaking true. If you just sit and you think about it, because through all that pain, when I felt completely alone, and then when I learned I had everything that I needed inside me already, all the tools that I needed to get through this, all the love that I was searching for from my husband, that I wanted from my husband, I had it in here all along. I had it available for myself all along, but I was giving it to him rather than giving it to myself. So whatever you're going through right now, please, please, please just promise me you will sit with it. Feel the pain. I know it hurts. I know it hurts. It hurts like hell. And you don't want to get out of bed. And you don't want to do anything. Don't. Let yourself feel it. But then there's going to come a day after feeling it that you're going to want to get up. You're going to want to get up, brush your hair, take a shower, put on some makeup, and you're going to want to go live life again. But in order to get there, you have to feel the pain. You have to feel the pain. Do not force yourself to do anything you're not ready to do. Feel it. And realize that everything you're searching for, whether it be a job, whether it be your calling, or whether it be your soulmate that you've lost, and this love that you've lost, realize that you have that. You have everything that you want and that you need in you. In here. It's in here. All you have to do is listen. Please, please, just try it. It took me, once I started realizing I had to feel the pain, it took me probably a month and a half, 2 months of actually feeling the pain every single day and crying when the need to cry came, crying. And if I couldn't, as soon as I could, I did. Do it. And if you're a man and you're watching this and you have been told your entire life that you're a man and you need to be strong and you can't feel your feelings because that's weak. Bullshit. Bullshit. Feel it. And don't be ashamed of it. Whoever you are, don't be ashamed of feeling your pain. Because it's the only way you're going to get through it and not come back to it. So I'm going to stop rambling on. I have a lot more to say and a lot more to share, but I'm probably just going to do it throughout time and more videos so I don't waste everyone's, precious time. I know everyone has things to do, but I just felt compelled to come on here and try to help with your pain because I know what it feels like. So just feel it. And please remember that you're enough. You're enough for yourself. You don't need anything else. You are enough. Thank you.